Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Thursday morning. Really glad that you're here. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Glad that you're joining us this morning. I'm really excited for today. If you're watching after the live stream, you can use the key markers using the chapter markers below. And lastly, if you're looking to take your trading to the next level and you're considering using any type of prop firm where you're like, I don't want to use my personal account, I want to save that, but I want to add risk, I'm ready to take that next step, well, you can use the code DTJ and you can get anywhere from 30 to 80% off using the code DTJ on your next evaluation account. So that's that. Let's go ahead, open in prayer, and then we will go ahead and get started. Father, we just honor you this morning. Thank you for your goodness, for your faithfulness. Father, thank you for your kindness, that your mercy endures forever. Father, I thank you that you are good and faithful. And Lord, we just put our trust and our confidence in you. Lord, I pray for a blessing of increase over every person that is participating in this stream today. Lord, I pray that they would come to know you in a deeper way. Father, that the relationship with you would grow deeper through this journey of trading. Lord, that they would draw near to you and trust in your leadership. Father, I trust in your leadership, and we thank you for your goodness and faithfulness. In Jesus' name, and everyone said, amen. Okay, folks, let's go ahead and rock and roll. Let's get started. How you doing today? How's everybody doing? Mark, good morning. John, Kaba, Jeff, Tony, Carlos, Marcelo, Eduardo, Matthew, John, Wendy, David, Diego, Michael, what's up? Paulo, how are you doing? I'll say this now, and then I'll say it again. I'll say it again later in the stream. If you are a profitable trader, and you have had consistency in your trading, you've been trading more than 2 to 5 years, I would love for you to be a part of our DTJ community, the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. And I would love to talk to you or email you and connect with you. I want to provide more value inside the Discord. Inside our Discord, I would like to do classes. I would like to do some trainings. I would like to do those types of things. Why does it not go through? And I'm looking for people to provide support in that. And ultimately, my goal is to provide a community for believers and traders to grow in their not only walk with Christ, but also in their trading career on their journey towards financial freedom. So if that is you, I would love to chat with you. If you could email me at dtjacademy@gmail.com. I don't know if it's let me put that on here. dtjacademy@gmail. I'll just do that. All right, right there. dtjacademy@gmail.com. Send me a message. Tell me a little bit about where you're at in your journey, how you became profitable, how long you've been profitable, some of that kind of stuff. And I would like to have a conversation about you potentially joining the Purpose Driven Trader Academy in Discord. I want to provide additional support for those that need it as we continue to grow as a community. So with that, I know that some of you already are profitable inside, and you would also be included. I'm just extending a hand to those that are not at this moment. With that being said, it's 9:20. Let's take a look at the market and let's see what the market is doing today. Today is Thursday. We've reached up into this weekly fair value gap. Okay. And I'm going to talk about, I did some journaling yesterday. I'm going to talk about some of my trades. I was up 50 handles on one of a trade, and I ended up taking a loss on it because I didn't sell a position. And I think that was the wrong decision because I was so committed to seeing an extended move that I ignored the fact that the market was in a consolidating market. So we're going to talk about that. Jaehan, good morning. Thomas, that's awesome. Way to go. Michael, good morning. Apple, what's up, my friend? But we've reached into this weekly fair value gap. And outside of this weekly fair value gap, this is all-time highs. I think we probably are headed there. Do I expect a retracement before we get there? Yeah, I do. Some kind. I mean, even in this large drop that we got here, this candle right here on March 24th, that went up higher into a fair value gap. So today we need to create a fair value gap of some kind. So are we going to see a major retracement all the way down? On a weekly perspective, I'm not sure. Let's go down to the daily time frame. From a daily perspective, we already ran the previous day low. So the likelihood of us running the previous day high is pretty low. It's pretty low. It's like 11% chance. I have complete, perfect 5-bar, 4-bar connection. Everything is saying it's working good on my end. So I'm sorry. We are talking about the Nasdaq. We're talking about NQM, which is the contract. So there is a low likelihood, in my opinion, that we're going to run this high. So with that, I'm looking for either price to range back and forth or price to extend lower to fill more of this daily fair value gap. I really would like to see it come back all the way down to this volume imbalance, but that volume imbalance basically is irrelevant at this point. But it's just a point of interest that I have. But we're going to delete that because I don't want to get distracted by it. Let's drop down to the 4-hour time frame. So when I'm looking at price, I want to extend it lower. So the first thing that I need to do is find out where could we retrace to. So I ran a Fibonacci tool from the high of this price leg to the low, and I found our midpoint and our 60% retracement level, or 62%. We're down at the 1 hour right now. And this is our 62% level right here. So you can see those levels right there. I'm dropping it to this high. Okay, that's the high of today. And this is the midpoint, and this is 62%. I should probably put on there 62. And then this is 50. And we are currently sitting in this hourly fair value gap. So honestly, at this point, I really want to see price roll over. None of the candles have actually closed inside of this hourly fair value gap yet. That could change right in the next 5 minutes. We'll see. Let me pause for a second and let me get my accounts ready to go before the market opens here. And I apologize. I'm still getting into that habit of not changing the screen. So there's the screen change. Thankfully, I was doing everything on the right side of the screen. So. All right. We are all set up. And let me go back and look at, this is our hourly. The 30-minute, here's 50%. Still, all the bodies have stayed below the 50%. I've marked our new day opening gap sitting up here. Our midnight open, London high. We have our previous day high, previous day low, and also we have the previous day midpoint. And look at where this wick landed, right on that midpoint, right at 62%, right at this order block. All of this signals lower prices, in my opinion. So I'm looking for lower prices. I want to play lower prices, but if it wants to push higher, then I guess it pushes higher. We'll see how that plays out. We have a 15-minute fair value gap sitting right here inside that order block that I referenced right there. That's the wrong one. And did we tag that? And we did tag that 15-minute fair value gap as well. Okay, so we tagged that 15-minute fair value gap. As far as price movement to the upside, it's done its job. It's done its job. It has permission to move lower if it wants to go lower. Yesterday's midpoint, 50% retracement, filled this 15-minute fair value gap inside of this order block on the 15-minute chart. Everything there looks great. Now, we did have quite a reaction right here on the previous day low, and it's moved higher. So I don't trade the first 15 minutes. We're going to see what the first 15 minutes gives us as far as conditions, and we will look for an opportunity at that point. We have 1 minute before the market opens. Sweep of liquidity. Let's drop down to the 1 minute chart. Put ES on the 1 minute as well. All right. ES is at the low currently. It's stuck at that low. $8:30, we have our news. Previous day high, or that's a news candle, so we have a data candle right here. So this is our data low. That can be a draw of liquidity. I also like that. All right, there's market open. Let's go ahead and mark that. As far as an opportunity to take a short, there is nothing here. There's nothing here that gives us an opportunity to take a short to this data low on the 1 minute time frame. On the 2 minute time frame, we have this large 2 minute fair value gap. I do like that. It's a single fair value gap on the 3 minute. 4 and then the 5. We'll mark this 2 minute out. It's a large fair value gap. Price opened right on the previous day low on ES. It looks like it probably is going to run this high right here. Let's see if it wants to push higher and hit those levels. And we are going to wait for the market to give us some structure. Maybe it wants to go back a little bit deeper into that 15-minute fair value gap. All right, there's the 15-minute fair value gap. If price wants to continue higher, we have the midpoint of this opening range gap and London high. Where is my, oh, there's live stream. All right, let me get this set up here. All right. I just kind of want to watch the first few candles of the market open here. See what it's given to us. If it wants to push higher, that's totally fine with me. We'll look at an opportunity here in 15 minutes. We have sold off over the Asia and London session, and maybe it wants to come back up to the midpoint. If it comes up to the midpoint of the previous day range from yesterday on ES, that would sweep these liquidities. It would fill this volume imbalance, or the new day opening gap, which is sitting right around here. That would be of interest. That also is, the new day opening gap on NQ is sitting up here, so it'd have to fill the opening range gap completely. We'll see if it wants to do that, but we're going to let the market kind of work itself out here while we sit on our hands and not take any trades at the moment. Okay. We want to get, I want confidence if I'm going to take a move. And this is going to give me time to talk about yesterday's trade. We took a trade yesterday and I was up 50 handles on the trade. It was honestly a really, really decent trade. Let me show you where it was at here. It was right here. I went short right here. And I want to talk about the mistakes I made and the lessons that I learned. Because I think it's important that we learn and how I could have done things a little bit different. I'm still watching ES or NQ on my charts, so just so you guys know, I can see that right here on my screen. Let me show you my other screen. Where is that? So I see it right here. I'm watching it right here. So I still have my eye on it, but I want to talk about this real quick. On this trade, I went short right here, and the level that was sitting right here was midnight open. It was sitting like right here. I mean, it literally tagged it. And I was so committed to lower prices and have been wanting to be intentional in holding and not cutting my trades early, that I took this trade, was up 50 handles, and I let it go back all the way for a loss. Embarrassing. It really, really is embarrassing. The mistake that I made is I did not consider two things. Number one, the condition of the market. The condition of the market was not a trending market. It was a consolidating market. Look here. Look at how we're just going back and forth. Look at especially this price action right here. We are just going back and forth. And yes, it could have gone, it could have went, but the odds weren't in my favor that it was going to do that. Even when it went higher, it just stopped and consolidated more. We went back and forth, up and down. So that was mistake number one. I should have taken profit at key levels, realizing that we were not in a trending market, but a consolidating market. Number two, we hit significant key levels with accuracy, and that was the midnight open level. This was midnight open. I removed it here because it's on the new day, but it was midnight open, and we basically tagged this level and then closed above this swing low and inside this 15-minute fair value gap. That should have been a clue to me that we're going to get a bigger retracement, and I ignored the signs that the chart was giving me because I wanted the bigger move. So lesson learned. I'm going to learn from that. Don't want to do that today. If the market wants to give me 20 points, 30 points, 40 points, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to cut my trade short because I want to see a bigger move. I'm not going to do that. But at the same point, if it's given me the signs for a bigger move, I want to be able to hold through that and allow a stop to break even if that is conducive. Now, I think today could be one of those days where we could see a big move lower. I don't see us in a consolidating market. Does this look does today this price action look like this price action? Heck no. Looks way different. So I'm optimistic that we could get more of a trending move, a bigger move, and we'll see if it wants to do that. But right now we're still waiting. A couple things I want you to see. Look at how we ran over the first fair value gap and then ran back over it again. That says to me we need to wait. Let's also check out the FX calendar. I don't know if we have anything else. Do we have any other news coming? Thursday, we had core PPI, and that is it for today. Inflation expected. No, that's not US. So we're good. We are done with news for today. So now we've closed back below the first presented fair value gap. I like that move. If this finds support, that's probably going to run to this low. Now I don't have a green light to trade, so I'm not taking or not doing anything. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to take trades like this. I'm calling it out, but just as many times as I get it right on these types of moves, I get it wrong. And so even though you might go, wow, he called it out and it ran this level, I don't know if it's going to do that or not. I've done that before and I've missed it. And it burns and it hurts and I don't like it. And I would rather call it out, give it a check on my checkbox for education and learning to read the market and not take the trade and stay break even. But this is nice. It ran, closed below, it manipulated, trying to get people out of it, closed below it again. Now it's going to run for that low. There's the target. Target hit. 15-minute tagged again and moving potentially lower. We have this data low. This is probably the data low play. That could really be it. I don't like how it went low, high, and low for the data low play, which is right here. So as far as a data low entry play, I still don't have an entry. I don't like how it violated and moved lower. But there's a good chance we run and reach for this data low. Okay? It's a large wick. We have it right here. There's our low and there's the high. The high was ran immediately, and so this will be ran. Based on the structure that I'm seeing, we're going to run this low. It's just a matter of when is it going to do it and can we participate in that trade. Tag of 930. That's nice. That's order flow. We should see an expansion here. 930 tag, fair value gap tag, order block tag, a lot of things right there that I do like. This fair value gap actually is a little bit larger. Let's mark that a little bit larger. But again, I'm calling these out. I'm not calling these for you guys to take this. This isn't a signal service. This is me reading order flow, and that's how we get better as traders. We have to call out moves. You just do. It doesn't mean you take everything, but you have to call it out if you want to become a better trader. And that's why I call these trades. This is the order block. This is 930. This is also a mitigation block. This is the fair value gap. And we would want to see, I personally would want to see price rollover right there. So if you ever email me or I got a comment from a guy on YouTube, some random dude that says, "You suck at trading." What? Because I'm calling things out and I'm reading order flow and it was wrong? Okay. You have to do it because the times that you are right, you're going to be grateful that you took the trade. If it's your model. I don't have my model here. There's no model here. The only model was the inversion fair value gap, and it was invalid immediately. It was violated immediately. So technically, there's no trade. Alkai, what's up, my friend? How you doing? Ted, good morning. Jared, what's up? See money, take money. Sometimes. I understand where you're coming from. All right, look at the wicks. I need to note this. A couple times we have the wicks. Let's see where this next one closes. Okay, we closed still inside that volume imbalance right there. I'd be watching this to see if we lose all of that volume and back down into this range here. The cheese, what's up? That's very true. Yeah, it's something that I put out because there's so many people that will just give their comments and opinions. And most likely they're not even profitable either. The truth is most profitable traders don't spend the time commenting on other people's channels to tell them that they suck or tell them that they're no good, except for one. The only one that I know that does that is Patrick Whalen, and I can't stand him. I find myself checking out his stuff every once in a while just to see what chaos he's creating. I do OTDs, optimal trade, OTEs, OTDs, OTEs, entries, OTEs. Watching from South Africa, totally inspired on how you allowed the Lord to guide you into your trading journey. You are unique. Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm blown away. I went on YouTube. I had somebody from Portugal that watched my video. And they said, "Oh, make sure you put it into Portuguese." And I went, "Can I even do that?" I looked on YouTube, and YouTube auto dubs my videos into like 7 to 10 different languages, Portugal being one of them. It's another voice that automatically takes what I say and puts it in another language. That's insane. That's just crazy. All right, I have the green light to trade now. There's no fair value gap here, so can't take that trade. I'm not going to take a reclaimed fair value gap right now. To me, this is saying consolidating. This is violating too many rules right now. It's violated this fair value gap, the first presented fair value gap multiple times. There's too many violations for me to want to take a trade. So I'm going to pass. Even if it runs straight to target, I'm not going to take it. There's no interest there. I may do this inversion, this 2-minute. The 2-minute looks good. The only thing we have to worry about is, do we want to take a 22 handle stop loss? Because that's 22 handles. Ricardo. All right, that's a great reaction right there. We have 1 minute left before this candle closes, though. That sucks. This is probably what I would consider a smart chase. I'm not going to do it because I'm on stream, but this might be considered a smart chase. A smart chase is, it's so aggressive, you have a clear target, and you get in the trade to basically participate in the move for a quick scalp. So there's a difference between chasing and a smart chase. There's definitely a difference. I'm not taking this for the mere fact that I don't want to. Because sometimes you mistakenly think a smart chase is a smart chase and it's not. And then you get burned. And that could be me right here. We'll see if it closes below this fair value gap, because it hasn't yet. All right, it did close below the 1 minute fair value gap. That's not bad. That's really good, actually. We got a breaker right here. If it gives us that breaker, that's how I'll enter this trade. I'm not going to enter it down here because it's so easy that could just do one of those moves. Maria, hi. On a higher time frame, like the 4 hour, do you feel that news is irrelevant? No, news is always relevant. It's relevant on where the market wants to take the trade. There's some people that disagree with that, so I can't definitively give you a clear answer. I can give you my opinion though. It's going to run. It's going to run for this target, folks. I'm just wanting to find a way to get in. Ricardo, I won't disagree with that. It has become way more relevant. All right, the 2 minutes going to close right here. I'm going, if it closes, all right, it closed below it. Now, if we can come back up to this breaker, I will take this trade to the downside. I'm okay if it wants to only reach to this level here. If you're feeling the urge that you're going to miss this trade to go to the low, you should not take a trade. I feel it, and it means don't take it. Yes, I don't want to miss this because it's gonna, I mean, in my book, it's going to happen. But if I would to chase it, take it right here, and it starts going right here against me, well, that's going to hurt. Could you use this as your breaker? Sure. You could use this as your breaker. But I'm using the fair value gap one that's right here. That's what I'm looking for. Here we go. It wicked into there. It didn't quite come up high enough, but it did come into this fair value gap. All right, I'm going to take an entry there. We're going to see if it wants to hold. And if it pushes through, then it pushes through. 83, we'll do 25. Tag 930. Need to probably be slightly higher, to be honest. I'm not going to move it though. It was already pushed too aggressively past my area of interest, so I didn't want to extend my stop loss and make it a larger loss. What I'm willing to do is look at this right here. This is probably the area that I want to look at. Two-minute, all right, 2-minute was violated, so we're going to remove that. See how we are getting multiple violations of PD arrays? It means we need to de-risk, reduce size, and hold off for a clear and better trade. Bodies are still staying below 930. The TP that I'm looking, have you tried the silver bullet, Tyler? I've struggled with the silver bullet, if I'm honest. And I just decided I like the breaker better. And technically this breaker is still valid. But I'm going to wait for the confirmation entry for the inversion of this fair value gap. Which are the TP? The target is the data low, which is 21,236, which it could go much lower than that too. Yeah, structure-wise, this looks great for a down play. And data lows would just be one point of interest. It's also an equal low. Data low, 830. Look at the 830 candle. 830 candle is when the news came out this morning for PPI. And look at that candle and look how exaggerated it is. I'm going to take a starter position here. And then if we close below this, I'm going to take another position. I don't want to take the full risk of a loss if it decides to go higher. So I'll take a small entry. Has been talking about how to trade CPI candles, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm pretty sure this is basically how he trades it. Both the data high and low is taken. Just the first one is taken so far. The data high has been already taken. It's right here. This is the data candle right here. Right here. Data high and low. I'm going to take that starter position off if we close below this down close candle. Did I say below? I meant above if I said below. All right, I'm going to close that. It's not wanting to go right now, so we're going to wait. See how as soon as we close above this down close candle, the price kind of takes off? That's because when we close above this down close candle, it turns this candle into an order block. That was the reason why I said I'm not going to hold it past that point, because it's a creation of a bullish order block that can cause price to move higher. Or not cause, but it's a signal that price is moving higher. Not wanting to go now. It certainly could be a fake out. But now I need to wait for brand new structure. That breaker, this breaker was still valid. And it became invalid on the close of the candle that I got out on. This was the breaker. That's the breaker bar. Sorry, it's a little, there's a lot going on there. But this candle's high to that candle's low. So it's high, low, higher, high. We broke below it. We came back up into the fair value gap. This is a legitimate setup. This is like you take the loss on this trade because this is the model. And if it doesn't, it doesn't win, take the loss. And that's okay. This is the candle I got out on. Why? Because it closed above that breaker. So now this breaker is, for me, irrelevant. I can't use this or want to consider that anymore because it was violated. Trading is a game of following your rules, following the plan, and closing your trade quickly when it's clear it's not going in your direction. Yeah, opening gap. We just tagged the opening gap on ES, yes. That's a good sign. Let's mark those. Let's mark that real quick. Five-minute doesn't look pretty. I need it to get out of this range. I would say I'm currently changing that who. Right now it's running for the nearest point of liquidity. So anywhere from 20 to 50 handles is what I like. You bet, Angus. A lot of people feel that way. It muddies the water when you aren't, and this is something that I'm still improving in my skill set. It muddies the water when you can't tell the difference between high resistance and low resistance conditions. Prior to the opening bell, I would have called this low resistance conditions. Look how nicely it's moving up and down. Look how it respects levels. Okay, so here's a breaker right here. Look at this breaker. This is on the 1 minute time frame. We tag it one time, we drop. We tag it a second time, sweep that high, and then we aggressively drop. This is what I want to play. That's the breaker. And it's amazing when it works. So where would have I targeted my liquidity? It would have been over here at, or this fair value gap right here. That's what that went towards, that fair value gap. But right now, the market violated the cleanest breaker that we had right here. It respected 930, so that was the reason why to re-enter with a starter position. And then it just violated the breaker and I got out altogether. Do you use the 1 minute time frame for entries, or has that always been the 2 minute? 1 minute. I'll use a 2 minute when I'm looking for a single fair value gap. I'll explain what I mean by that. Look at these. Look, no, there's not a good example here. Look at this price range right here. This price leg right here. There's a fair value gap here, and there's a fair value gap here. If I want to trade a move in this, it would be I want to go up a time frame to make a single fair value gap. In this case, there's the 2 minute, and then there's the 3 minute. So the 3 minute gives a single fair value gap. And it still would have been violated. So the market's just in high resistance right now, and it's actually not doing what it should do in low resistance conditions. And so it's telling us it's time to stay out and wait. Even if something looks pretty, we need confirmation, or I need confirmation, that we are switching from high resistance conditions to low resistance conditions, meaning it's going to run nice and smoothly to the target with very little resistance. If I'm honest with you, Angus, I find myself preferring shorts. I think I do prefer shorts. I have taken many longs before, but some of my best trades have been short, and it's made me favor shorts. I probably will take this if it closes below that fair value gap. Doesn't look like it is going to right here. Yeah, I'm not looking for a huge move lower, but we did hit a weekly fair value gap. So we should find resistance from that. You can see how we stayed below inside the first quadrant of that weekly fair value gap. We didn't even get halfway through that first quadrant. And I think we could retrace a little bit. This trade needs to happen fairly quickly, or I'm going to probably wait because we're getting to the end of the macro. I like this order block right above this fair value gap. We did sweep liquidity. So what do we have for a higher time frame move? We have equal highs right here in London high. See, if it really wanted to move higher, why is it just going higher and sweeping the highs? It's barely sweeping the highs. It's just sweeping the highs again and again and not running lower. That's why I keep thinking, and that's why I'm leaning towards price. Actually, honestly, I really like these equal lows down here. If we run the data lows, I think we run for these equal lows. $15-minute chart doesn't look pretty. 30-minute chart doesn't look pretty. I mean, when it comes to the wicks, it's still respecting the 50% level. This is why I'm leaning towards that, towards the downside. It's pushed higher, but all the bodies are closing here. It's pushed higher, but closing here. Look at that. Hourly. Same thing with the hourly. Pushed higher, come back down and close. Pushed higher, come back down and closed. Pushed higher. We still have 45 minutes left on this candle. This would be potentially that move. So the structure for a downside move is here. We're waiting to see if we can get a 5-minute change in state of delivery right here. We didn't get one, so we have to wait another 5 minutes for a new candle to be put in. But we're also inside of this. This is just icky. It's nasty. Not very fun. Look at this inversion fair value gap. Look at the wicks respecting those levels. Sorry, it's windy outside and I keep looking to my left because my tree is hitting my house. Okay, see this inversion right here? This inversion right here? Those bodies are staying below the midpoint. Now that could change, so this is just something I'm reading to see if price wants to continue to respect that and roll over. Seeing those, that just would give me the confidence that price is going to move in the other direction. I double tapped the control. I don't know, it just does it. I accidentally hit it twice and I saw it did that and it was amazing. I'm like, this is nice. Look at the respective 930 as well. There's just multiple things that's just, I can't ignore the confluences of these. Look at the tag of the first presented fair value gap. It's just horrible wiki price action. Shorted on the 3-minute change in state of delivery. Has the 5-minute closed yet? We got 1 minute and 45 seconds for the 5 minutes close on the change in state of delivery. What does a 3-minute look like? All right, all right. I like that. I mean, that looks great too. That looks really good as well. You can't complain. It's just not the time yet right now. It's not the time. When I look at the time, it's 10:20. If it wants to do it, I mean, I'll participate in it, but not in this. I mean, let's just assume this works out, okay? We go short on this inversion. Let's assume this trade plays out. We go short right here, and we go to the equal lows or the data lows. Let's go to the equal lows. It's 51 points. That would more than cover any of the losses that I have, plus a nice profit. This is why keeping a tight stop loss is important, but then letting your runners run to the actual targets. I'll mention this again now that we got more people here. I tagged on the top of my screen or in the chat is my email. If you are a profitable trader, I would love to connect with you about joining the Discord, the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. I'm looking to expand some of the resources on there, and if you have a desire to teach or educate people or help other people out, I would love to connect with you about joining the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. My ultimate goal is that we create a community of individuals that are able to help other individuals that want to become financially free, and even turn it into mentorships or one-on-one coaching and things like that in the future with income opportunities. So I think there's a lot. Rick Warren, yeah, I guess it doesn't come from there, but there is definitely a connection as far as the purpose. But ultimately, I want it to be a vibrant community. So if you are a profitable trader and you are interested in teaching or want to get connected with other believers and help other believers, use my email and reach out. Alan, it is right at the top of the chat. It should be pinned. There's nothing planned right now, but I just know that that's where I want to go, and so that's what I'm looking to do. I would be very surprised if we take out yesterday's highs, because we already took out yesterday's lows. And there's statistically from some back testing that I did, there's only 11% chance. 11 out of 100 times will that happen. So there's a possibility, but it's lower. That's another reason why I'm considering a move to the downside. I understand it though. I mean, look at those nice equal highs right there. That's pretty. So you can't. Here's the thing: if you want to use the previous day high as your draw on liquidity, you can, and it doesn't have to hit it for you to make money. Definition of a profitable trader. I would say months of profitability, months of income. I'm not looking for somebody that's making it huge, but you definitely need to be on the green side. Doesn't mean you don't have periods of drawdown or periods of losing streaks, but you've had months or proof of months of profitability. Yeah, 3 to 5 months. 3 to 6 months. Because you got to understand that there's also people that have 0 months under their belt. So even though maybe you have years of profitability, I want that as well. And I'm not saying everybody that reaches out to me is going to it's going to work out. I don't know. I'm just starting that conversation. But even if with just 3 months of profitability, you have something to offer somebody else that needs help. You think that was an institutional order flow entry drill for a move higher? If it is, and it most possibly could be. But I'm probably not going to be bullish until I need it. You know what? Instead of just assuming it's not going to happen, let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. All right, if we close above this hourly fair value gap, I would consider a long bias. There is not a fair value gap on the 4 hour. So let's just make sure we're doing our due diligence here. All right, let's see. This candle here is our 930 price. Price came back down here at 10 a.m. or at 10 a.m. So we're in the 10 a.m. candle. Did we reach a 3-minute fair value gap between 930? Yes, right there. If we're going to consider a bullish move, to me, it's going to have to be London high. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's going to be the previous day high. But London high could be a possibility here. Let's find in our OTE of 70%. That's right here. So 70 is sitting right under that London high. What does ES have? ES is already tagged its new day opening gap. Even if I want to consider a long, There's nothing in here right now that I see that we could go long off of. I mean, look at that. That's just horrible. There's nothing I can go long in that. But if we do break out, we could use that as a template for a higher move. London opens 2 a.m. New York Standard Time. There's nothing we want to trade in here, folks. Nothing. Fifth day, I've been trading for 3 years, 2 years with ICT. Or 2 years of ICT concepts. I'm not taking this. This is just reading order flow. It's 10:30. I'm not taking a trade here. I'm going to use the restroom to prove it. I don't like taking trades at 10:30. ES looks good for a short. We have a 30-minute reversal signal here. We look for a 3-minute entry. Yeah, we're 1 minute into this candle. All right, we're looking for ES to basically come up into this fair value gap and go short. This is an entry right here, folks. It is. If it gives it to us, it's technically an entry. It's a valid entry. I'm going to take one contract here. I think price could come back up to this 3-minute fair value gap. But if it doesn't and it wants to run, I'm in one contract. I need ES to close below this fair value gap. We're going to see a continuation. All right, there is our close and our push. There's stop technically needs to be moved to break even because we swept this low. No, we haven't swept the low yet. We need to sweep this low before stops move to break even. That's the low right there. Made equal lows. Not a fan of making equal lows. It's a judgment call on if you move your stop to break even or not. I'm going to. in case it wants to do just a quick retracement. We'll look for another opportunity. We were looking for a price to target the data lows right down here and these equal lows. I'm not liking how it's not moving lower, so I have my stop at break even. All right, tagged out at break even. I'm gonna see if it wants to come back up. I will watch this inversion right here, basically. I'm watching for ES to come up into this 3-minute time frame for the 30-minute reversal. Technically, there's a 3-minute fair value gap right here. Very small. But I would prefer it reach up into this one right here. There's that push. Not quite there. All right, ES hit it. Let's see if we can push any higher up to the 50% level right here. I'm going to look for a 1-minute change in state of delivery. I don't want to catch something that's exploding higher. So I'll wait for a 1-minute change in state of delivery to the downside as a confirmation that we're reversing. Because I want to treat this like a manipulation, higher to now moving lower. Heck of a candle there. It's the main reason why I don't want to catch something that's just exploding higher. I want to wait for a 1 minute change in state of delivery. This is a 5 minute order block right here. Right at, there's no point in putting that. It's right at 9:30. So 9:30 is another significant level. We just reached in for the first presented fair value gap as well. Seems like it's ranging. Yeah, it does. This is why I want to wait for confirmation instead of just taking something that looks like it's exploding higher. ES is respecting that 3 minute. This is our 70% OTE. If it's gonna roll over, it's gonna be at this level here. This is where we do have a breaker if it really wanted to reach. But I'm not a fan of it because it's below these levels up here. At this point, I'm not looking for a 1 minute change in state of delivery. I'm probably going to look for an inversion. There's an inversion right here. Technically, there's your 1 minute change in state of delivery. It's 9:45, 10:45, so we're in the macro time that I like to look for my trades. I don't see any long positions for me to take right here. If it's going to go higher, we need to close above the first presented fair value gap. We'll need to close above equilibrium right here, and then I would take a trade long off of the retest of that equilibrium, which is also a breaker. That's the only way I'm taking a long right now. So it would need to really continue higher for me to get to that point to then take a trade. I don't want to rule that out because we are ranging like Maria mentioned. That means it could go either direction. I just like the data points down here more than I like the data points up here. But it doesn't mean it can't go for these. That's what we're watching, is we're looking at order flow to see what does it want to respect. I do like this, man. Yes, sir, I do. Hang on, folks. DTJacademy.com, you can check out that. That's where I do all my stuff. John, see you, my friend. Take care. God bless. All right, so you can tell that we've been looking for this short. We took the short off the inversion. We made these equal lows. When we get equal lows like this and we don't run right away, I like to move my stop to break even. That's what we did. And a good decision so far that we moved our stop to break even. We're looking for that reversal. ES is still inside the 3-minute fair value gap for the 30-minute reversal play, but we're seeing NQ just continue to pump higher. So we have to sit on our hands, wait till something just gives us the clue. I had an idea that if we got the 1-minute change in state of delivery, I'd do it, but it didn't give us that. It actually moved even higher. And at that point, when we created the fair value gap, I wanted the inversion. We didn't get that, and we're moving higher. Okay. Price is respecting discount PD arrays and moving higher. Still not an entry, no entries for us. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of some of these lines here. I'm going to take an entry right there. If we come back up and retest this breaker, I'll probably add a position. I took it based off this tiny inversion fair value gap. If that's just a manipulation that's going to go higher, that's why I have a starter position, and then I will be, it'll be another loss here, folks. You know, as I'm looking at this chart right here, I'm like, that it feels somewhat not high probable. I might take off that contract. I kind of feel like I took a trade based on emotions. Not emotions, but the emotion of a candle. Let's see how that closes. just telling you how I feel. It is days like these. If you lose a trade and then you're like, oh, I want to earn it back, and so you continue to take more trades. All right, there it is. It's time to call it a day, folks. We're not going to keep trading this. I really did like that. It gave me displacement, closed below my 1 minute, inversion. We had the breaker right here. We closed below it. We had equal lows, data lows, equal lows, previous day low. I liked it. I can't argue against that. When you have your trade idea, you have to take it. Now, does it suck that I took it on stream and you guys have seen 3 days of losses? Yeah, that sucks. It hurts quite a bit. Monday we had a phenomenal day. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all red. Open the other account. No, I'm not going to. I did have that 50-point trade when I opened that other account. No, but what this is telling me is that even though I'm seeing setups, it's telling me that I need to be even more patient. I mean, I'm taking legitimate trades, and yet it's telling me the lesson I'm learning is I need to be even more patient. Sometimes it's hard to even conceive you can be more patient. But there's people that don't take trades for an entire sessions, entire days. And I haven't done that yet. So that's probably in the cards for me to learn to not take any trades during a trading session, even though I see a markup and I see my model. But when I see it inside of this, I just need to say, no, thank you. We're not going to do that today. Because if I would have saved my gunpowder for not trying to trade the escape of this, maybe there is the trade that happens outside of this that we can take long or we can take short. Either way, patience would have been on my side and would have been my friend. We'll see if this hourly closes in 2 minutes. Yeah, I know, JR. Totally. But there's a level of responsibility I feel even for the stream. This isn't a signal stream. This is an educational stream. But yet, even in the education, if I'm the one teaching, I got to show how to handle it. And I'm showing you how to handle losing days. I can't take after 2 losses or 2. Yeah, we had a break even, and then I had a starter. I don't count the starter, but you just can't. You can't keep going. You have to call it a day. Well, I mean, honestly, Eduardo, it's impossible not to be transparent when you're streaming. This is why so many traders don't stream. So if you appreciate the transparency, hit the like button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys. All right, I think, well, you know what? I'm going to wait. We got 5 seconds. We are closing above this hourly. We just closed above it. There's our hourly close and potentially our move outside of the market. Here's our breaker. Our retest of the breaker's happening right now. And there's the pop. There's 10 handles. What's up, Chop Box? I don't trade any crypto, no. I'm logging out of my account. With that, folks, a quick reminder. Use the code DTJ if you are using any prop firm accounts. You can use those on any of those accounts down there. Take Profit Trader, Apex, or Tradeify. Other than that, we will be back again tomorrow at 9:15. Going at it again, respecting, following our rules, and we will rock and roll. So God bless, guys. Stay safe, and we will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.